Okay, so another one of your big assignments this semester is going to be your research project. It's a group research project and it's worth 20 points on your final grade. So what you're going to be doing is creating a presentation on one of the writers we've discussed in class this semester. Each group will have their own writer and will create an online presentation. Be creative with this. You can come up with anything that you want as long as it works. Some suggestions are videos, blogs, websites, PowerPoint presentations, and the like. Now, if you do a PowerPoint presentation, do be careful with it. You want to make it as dynamic as possible because if you're not careful, PowerPoint can just be sort of the easy, quick way out. Okay, so your presentation is going to cover a lot of information. I'll let you just read through all of that on your own on the prompt, but do make sure that you cover all those bits in your research on that writer. And the important thing on that list, they're all important, but you have a lot of bullets where I'm asking you about biographical information and the writer's style. The other thing that I want you to do is to discuss at least one work by that writer, and it needs to be something other than what we've done for class. So anything that you want, as long as it's something that we haven't done for class. Now, if you do poetry, you want to definitely choose more than one poem to work on. Whereas if you do a novel, maybe you want to pick a few excerpts to discuss and then give a novel summary. Regardless of what you do, focus your discussion on gender criticism, and that should be a pretty lengthy part of the project. Okay, so each group needs to have at least 2 meetings. For each meeting, make sure that you choose a secretary to take detailed minutes of that meeting. Those minutes should include who was there, what time you started, what time you ended, what kinds of things were discussed. List format is absolutely fine. Basically, it's just detailed notes of everything that you guys talked about. Now, your meetings can take place however you like. If you want to meet in person, if that's possible, you can certainly do that. You can meet on the phone or in a group chat room. And if you use the group chat room, then you're welcome to copy and paste your meeting and just send it to me that way. Okay, so in addition to the presentation, you're going to turn in a Word document that has those detailed minutes from each meeting, that has a description of each group member's completed tasks for the project, so what each person actually did accomplish, and a one-page summary of the information that's in the presentation, and then finally a bibliography that has at least 4 sources that you went out and found. One of those can be the textbook, that's fine. I do not want anyone using Wikipedia. Now, if you want to use Wikipedia as a starting off place, I do recommend that because if you look at the bottom of a Wikipedia page, it will have links to lots of references and websites that can be very helpful to you. Okay, so you've got your presentation, you've got your Word document with all of that stuff in it, and then also each individual, not each group, but each individual should turn in a one-page summary of what they learned. Now, this can be aspects of the topic that you're working on. If you learned, really interesting things about the author or about the genre, then you can talk about those things. Or if you want, you can talk about, if you learned a little bit about time management or working in groups, that's relevant as well. Okay, so when you turn it in, anything that is written needs to be in the form of a Word document and it needs to be emailed to me as an attachment. And in terms of the presentation itself, just email me whatever works. If it's a web link, that's fine. If it's a file, that's fine. Just make sure that everything is turned in on time and make sure that you know who's responsible for turning in all the components of the project. And then each individual should email me their summaries themselves. Okay, so grading, there's only 3 components to this, okay? Content is the first one, and that's going to be worth 8 points. Basically, each presentation should give quality, correct information, and it should completely address all of the questions that are listed on the prompt. The presentation itself is going to be worth 7 points. This is, quality of the presentation. Is it creative? Is it interesting? Is it organized? Does it clearly show the information? If it's a web page, is it easy to navigate? All these kinds of things. If it's a video, we should be able to, hear everything that you're saying. Okay, and then process. This is the part where each person can get a different grade than other people in their group, okay? Each group has to turn in all the documentation of the meetings and everything else in addition to the project itself, and the summary of what everyone learned. And from all of those things, I should be able to tell that every group member participated equally in the project. It is possible, let me say it again, for group members to receive differing grades on this assignment. So if you're in a group and there's a person that isn't doing anything, then know that that person is not going to get the same grade, and they're not going to necessarily bring down the grade for everyone else in the group. um, the same goes if there's someone who is sort of trying to take over and do too much and not allow everyone else to do work in the group. And as these kinds of issues arise, I prefer that you really try to work them out yourself. But if it happens that you can't, then please do contact me. But all of that kind of information, that's the kind of stuff that should go into these summaries and these meeting documents and everything. Okay, so as always, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to let me know. Call me, come by my office, shoot me an email, whatever works for you. Okay, happy researching.